Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. This is Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Femi Ojo is my name, and we are back here to have conversation. That's all we do here. Meaningful, deep, frank, honest, sometimes uncomfortable conversations, because, there is an adage around here that if two brothers or two relatives go into a room and they smile when they come out, possibly they've not had something serious to talk about, but if actually they do, they might frown, but that means the truth has been said, and that is what we do here, saying the truth, speaking truth through power, looking at issues holistically, different angles, different prism towards having a nation that we are all proud of, talking about this great nation of good people, Nigeria. It's been quite a few days of, here and there in Nigeria. Tough days, actually, especially talking about insecurity in Nigeria. Many things needs to be said, but beyond that, many things needs to be done. Done and done fastly. That is, what is happening right now, because the diplomatic issues around, the security in Nigeria, persecution of Christians has been said, and as the United States government have said through the president, that genocide is ongoing here. They even gave figures, more than 4,000 killings on religious front lines. Mr. Trump said more than 3,000, has happened in Nigeria alone, as compared to more than 4,000 in the global space. And it said this cannot go on, and this has been causing some unrest. In fact, interestingly, at the Senate, 2 days ago, I guess, there was a conversation around that, and where the Senate president had to stop the deputy Senate president. I'm not sure if it's yesterday or 2 days ago, had to stop the Senate president, Jibrin Barrow, from talking about this Trump issue as far as Nigeria is concerned, because the deputy Senate president, Jibrin Barrow, was like, okay, let's talk about this. He's not afraid of anybody. In fact, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, had to say, no, we are not talking about Trump right now. If actually we are going to talk about Trump, we are going to talk about the situation as a Senate, not just as individual. And Jibrin Barrow was like, I'm a Nigerian, I have a right. If you can't say it, I will say it. Mr. President, that's talking about former governor of Akwa Ibom State, now the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio. Why are you panicking? You don't have to fear. If you can't say it, I will say it. And in fact, Mr. Senate President has to prevail on him to say, don't say that. And he explained himself to say some statements that have been attributed to him in the social media space, to say he's the one who has said it, calling the bluff of Mr. Trump and saying Nigerians are not complaining about the state of the nation that he has said. And he said he has not said anything. There is no way he has said that Nigerians are not complaining. Why is the U.S. complaining about these issues? And talking about response and responding to Trump, Mr. Akpabio, yes, that's what Akpabio said. Who am I to respond to Trump? That's what he said. And Nigerians are not having enough of that to say, really? Oh, will I say issue gets eyes? You can't respond to Trump. Why can't you? You are the number 3 man in Nigeria. You are the Senate president. Mr. Akpabio said, and I saw that video, he's in the public space, say, where he said, who am I to respond to Trump? Really? It's just so much to really talk about. We'll look into that in the course of the program today. Again, because this is an ongoing conversation, and you deserve to know what is going on, actually. And the state of the nation will be our concern today. A few days ago, all right, and it was said that the DSS, Department of State Services, have dismissed 115 personnel on different grounds and all of those things. They even put up their picture, is on their website. We'll look into that in the course of the program today, because there are many dimensions to that conversation. Who are these people? 115 of them. Why are they dismissed? Now, when you talk about DSS officials, we are talking about well-trained people, intelligent personnel, actually, because they were part of the intelligence community. And whatever they have done, you are not just talking about regular officers here. You are talking about intelligence officers that have been dismissed. Is that how they are dismissing to the public? Actually, who watches over them? That is the thing. And if actually they've done something that is worth them being dismissed, why can't they be persecuted if it's criminal in nature? Now, the main concern is if these people go rogue, 115 go rogue, what will be the security implication on the nation? Because they have been dismissed for a particular reason or reasons. So how does that work? Now that their pictures are even displayed, is in the public space right now. So what happens to possibly people that they have sought after before, criminals that they have tried to arrest, and all of them are now looking at themselves in the public space? The person who was after them, or people who were after them before, and the kind of suspect they have been trying to arraign in the past that they have not been able to bring in, and all of them are now in the public space together. How does that work in Nigeria? Because we are talking about the level of insecurity in Nigeria right now. These latest development from the DSS, did you follow the right protocol? Many things needs to be said in Nigeria, because we can't just wait, and allow everything to just fester on. Nigeria must rise to the occasion. Many things to be said. We're going on a quick break right now. When we return, you deserve to know what is going on beyond what I just told you. And the newspaper segment, headline segment, is next. Stay with me. All right, let's start from the Nigerian Tribune for today. The Nigerian Tribune, federal government, Nigeria winning war against terrorism, ready to partner with U.S. Interesting. Federal government, Nigeria winning war against terrorism, ready to partner with the U.S. In fact, that is more like what we want to see, not just what needs to be said. Are we really winning? That's the question. This is a patriotic Nigerian. I'm sure many Nigerians are saying, excuse you. Just yesterday, it was announced that a particular young seminarian that have been abducted for months have been killed in abductors' den. 3 of them, I think, were abducted, and the ransom was paid for 2, and the third one, the death was announced yesterday. What kind of war did we say we are winning? What exactly does winning mean? If actually, okay, because if you neutralize 80 or whatever number, and others are running around, wreaking havoc, abducting, till now, what kind of war do we say we are winning? And that is the concern of many Nigerians. To say, it's like we are embedded in what they call self-deceit. We have not been able to really identify where we are. This is not to say Nigerians, are pessimistic when this kind of news come out. But the thing is, winning a war. What kind of a war are we talking about? Okay, all right, moving on. But there are riders to that story, and you deserve to know. Let me start now. Says over 17,000 suspects undergoing trial. 13,500 terrorists killed. 9,800 victims rescued. U.S. Nigeria cooperation resulted in delivery of a dozen Super Tucano aircraft, another dozen AH-1Z Viper attack helicopters to be acquired by the Air Force. Nigeria stands as model for religious diversity, democratic resilience, Tuga, and Trump lied to the world. Federal government must act, not lobby Washington. Falano. All right, Trump lied to the world. Federal governments must act, not lobby Washington. Falano. All right. Away from that, you have the picture of the governor of the central bank, Mr. Yemi Cardoso, the Minister of Finance and Quantitative Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, with the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Alhaji Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, during a working visit to the CBN head office in Abuja on Tuesday. And below that, PDP crisis. BOT appoints 6-member panel to reconcile warring groups. PDP crisis, BOT appoints 6-member panel to reconcile warring group. With the riders, BOT's move on nullity. Anyawu's camp. BOT's move on nullity. Anyawu's camp and appeals or your High Court ruling. Invasion of PDP office, direct assault on democratic values. Body judge. All right. And away from that, from the earth scene, scientists develop gel to repair tooth enamel. Scientists develop gel to repair tooth enamel. All right. And that would be nice. There's so many persons who have issues with their teeth or tooth, the enamel. You have a hope right now. Tinubu, Sultan, Uzadima, other eminent persons for editors conference, and man backs 15% petrol, diesel import tariff. Are still on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. MAN, that is man backs 15% petrol and diesel import tariff. All right, and top strip, why reps threatened showdown over Tinubu's request for 1.15 trillion naira fresh loan. Demand full implementation of 2024 capital project, 30% of 2025 project. And Senate in shock over $300 billion crude sales losses. Senate in shock over $300 billion crude sales losses. So much coming from that end, talking about the Senate being in shock over $300 billion crude sales losses. How did it get lost? Who are the ones, to be held responsible? These are some of the issues. But I move away from the Nigerian Tribune to the Punch. Next up is the Punch newspaper. Power showdown. Power showdown. Wike block defiant as PDP BOT insist on convention. Power showdown. Wike block defiant as PDP BOT insist on convention. With the rider, PDP faction locked secretariat as BOT Wike camp hold rival meeting. So much, at that end. Power showdown, Wike block defiant as PDP BOT insist on convention. A PDP faction locked secretariat as BOT Wike camp hold rival meetings. All right, below that, over 85 killed as flood wreaks havoc in Philippines. Over 85 killed as flood wreaks havoc in Philippines. All right, and you could see some of these pictures. They're quite disturbing. A havoc being caused where people are scampering for safety. And below that, food imports soar 45% as local production falters. Food imports soar 45% as local production falters. Really? Importation of food has soared 45%. So where does that leave the local farmer? The question is, how comfortable are the local farmers right now? How secured are they? I think that's the question. How secured are the local farmers, but especially from the northern region of the country? Even in some southwestern part with hair skirmishes, pockets of abductions of people on their farms. We've had situations of some herders grazing on people's farms, and it turns to trouble at the end of the day. So I think it's explainable, but it's not good for anybody because many analysts, especially agriculturists, agricultural enthusiasts, will say Nigeria has no business with hunger if actually the right things are done with the kind of arable land, that we have in Nigeria. Food imports soar 45% as local production falters. Next to that, this is a very sad news. Truck crushes Lagos tricycle to death in just two. And you can see a picture there. Truck crushes Lagos tricycle to death in just two. When shall they stop? That is it. Human error or mechanical error. Tinubu to open editors conference November 12, and I predicted mass US visa green card revocations. Showing her. I predicted mass US visa green card revocations. Showing her. By the way, the man has had his own visa revoked as well just last week. Thereabout. And Marwa fights for second term as 5 rivals close in. Marwa, the retired general, Marwa fights for second term as 5 rivals close in. That's talking about the NDLEA leadership. And 15% import tariff could make Nigeria fuel producing powerhouse refiners. 15% import tariff could make Nigeria fuel producing powerhouse refiners. And lastly, from the Punch newspaper, Trump's threat. Federal government engages diplomats, rallies military commanders. Federal government engages diplomats, rallies military commanders. All right, to The Guardian right now. The Guardian newspaper. Referendum call heightens over LT's constitution reform plot. Referendum call heightens over LT's constitution reform plot. And Senate okays 14-year jail term for Randy lecturers. Senate okays 14-year jail term for Randy lecturers. And below that, again, federal government rejects CPC tag as Falana dismisses Trump's genocide claim. All right, BOT backs Damagum as Abdurrahman led PDP suspends convention. BOT backs Damagum as Abdurrahman led PDP suspends convention. Still reading from the Guardian newspaper for today. Presidency, manufacturers agree on privatization of Port Harcourt, order refineries. Presidency, manufacturers agree on privatization of Port Harcourt, order refineries. Stop celebrating worthless GDP figures, Osinbajo warns African governments. Stop celebrating worthless GDP figures, Osinbajo warns African governments. Right, and some will say the man has points because when some of these figures are just thrown there without commensurate evidence, then you wonder, are these figures, being cooked? Because even in Nigeria, some will say whatever you are putting up as figures, it's not looking like it's reflecting. It's not looking like it's the reality of what is on ground right now, making it look like things are working. But when you check the livelihood of the people, you see something is not connecting there. Maybe, just maybe. But then, Newspeak 3 of The Guardian has that. Stop celebrating worthless GDP figures, Osinbajo wants African governments. All right. And below that, you see the picture of Mr. Wale Edun, and CBN Governor Cardoso with the budget and National Planning Minister there, Atiku Bagudu. At bottom strip right now, Tinubu, Sultan, Uzodinma, others headline editors conference, and investors bet on Nigeria oversubscribed $2.25 billion Eurobond by 400%. And lastly, from The Guardian, WMO predicts 2025 as Nigeria's second hottest year on record. Again, WMO predicts 2025 as Nigeria's second hottest year on record. All right, that will be all from the Vanguard newspaper. Guardian newspaper rather. The Daily Trust is next. Daily Trust contractors protest at National Assembly for second day. Contractors protest at National Assembly for the second day. All right, and then you can see them there with placards. All right, and this is not really looking nice at all. And here's the point, because when you have indigenous contractors being stressed, going through pains, they had to resort to protest, because I'm not sure that is the first, that will be their first action. The moment they feel, oh, we are not being paid, let's go and protest. No, I'm sure letters will have been written, meetings will have been sought, meetings will have been held, before they got to this point. So what does that do to their business when indigenous contractors are being owed, by the government? I think we should do better. What happens to people working with those contracting firms? Actually, that means most likely they will be owed as well. Is it because we don't have money? Is it because governments at different levels don't have money to do all of these things? Or what exactly is the problem here? And another question is this: the expatriates, the foreign, contractors, actually, are they being owed this way as well? These are the questions. Why are the indigenous contractors being treated this way? Is it administrative issue? Is it document issue? Or just sheer disrespect for anything that is homegrown? We need to do better as a people, both at the contractors' end and at the government end. Now, the question is, who should intervene? Because the House of Reps said they were going to, go on strike or whatever, or they are going to stop plenary because of this a few days ago. Does that solve the problem? These are the issues. All right. Nigeria, just below that, Nigeria rejects country of particular concern designation. Nigeria rejects country of particular concern designation. Interesting. And 2 children die after falling into wells. Oh, wow. 2 children die after falling into wells. What kind of well? We don't know. That's unfortunate. In fact, I was somewhere yesterday and I saw something that looked like a well uncovered. It wasn't a well. I think this manhole, that was just beside the road. The manhole that used to be on the road. This one was beside a road, close to a particular house. And I had to peep into that hole, and I saw that it wasn't a well, but it was quite deep. If a 2, 3, 4-year-old falls into that place that I'm talking about, and it wasn't covered, because obviously that's why I could peep. If a 3, 4-year-old falls into that place in the evening, it will be very difficult. So in fact, if an adult will fall into that place, yet the adult might be able to climb out, but he or she won't climb out without injury. And we do better as a people, because I'm not sure it's everything that has to do with the government. Let people be responsible. You see people having, construction going on in a particular site, and because they need water, they will dig a well. And, when the workers there are done, they don't cover the place. You see animals falling into that place. And unfortunately, if anybody doesn't know anything around that area, falls into that kind of a place, and unfortunately, that person might not be seen. Everything goes fatal. I think we should do better. And people should be made to be responsible. Really, people should be made to bear the consequences of their actions. You can't have a well and the well will not be covered. Especially, that's why you have children, and children will always be children. The reason why children behave like children is because they are children. So why leave a well unattended? And some of these things exist. People know what I'm talking about. They exist in our neighborhoods. Anything will happen. We should be more responsible, actually, as a people. Now, it's unfortunate, as been reported by the Daily Trust this morning, that 2 children have died after falling into wells. Let's do better as a people. That's quite sad. Kakistocrats running Nigeria. Ndume, here we go. The man Ndume, spoken again. Kakistocrats running Nigeria. Who are they? Because it's part of those running Nigeria. He represents his people from Borno State as well. So, who are these Kakistocrats? Actually, his own party, people from his party are the ones at the national level. So are they APC guys? Are they the Kakistocrats or leaders at all level, political officers in Nigeria? All right, the Daily Trust has that headline and the story. Next to that, federal government, FG moves sale of refineries. FG moves sale of refineries. Okay, now that has been said, maybe some of our guys here, you might have saved some things. Go to, the people that you are making a joy with. Go and collect your money, because refineries might soon be on sale. All right, you might have a chance at buying refineries in Nigeria. All right, top strip, Nas OK's 14-year jail time for sexual harassment in schools. And these, I think, will be a good deterrent. But then, who will make the investigation? Because investigation around this kind of topic must be very thorough, And to prove it might quite be difficult on both ends, on the student's end, on the lecturer's end as well, because we've had stories of some students, that will really go the extra mile just to make sure they dent, a particular lecturer for whatever reasons. And there are very randy, terrible lecturers as well. So, well, it's still in the works. Ex-NSA Abdullahi Muhammad dies at 86. Ex-NSA, all right. Abdullahi Muhammad dies at 86. And cholera kills 10 in Adamawa local government. Cholera kills 10 in Adamawa local government. These are the things that you see and you wonder. This is 2025. So still be hearing that cholera is killing people. To say the least is quite unfortunate. 2025. This is not 1960. This is not 1952. This is not 1980. This is not 1991. This is 2025, and cholera is still killing people. How? What happened? Okay, of course, it has to be about hygiene. It has to be about hygiene. Wash your hands. Make sure your food are well cooked. Make sure your surroundings, are clean. But is that what we have right now? And this, can be traced to government policy and people themselves. Maybe from a place of ignorance or from a place of recklessness, because many Nigerians, the way we live our lives, right, we don't live it like we have a part to play. We just wake up and do whatever we want. Some people that are very careful Nigerians, but then I think we need to do more better. This is not what we are supposed to be hearing from a country like Nigeria. Cholera still killing people. Cholera kills 10 in Adamawa local government. It sounds like a story from 1990 or maybe year 2000, just to be, moderate with that. But this is what is being reported on a day like today, November 6, 2025. Cholera still killing people. So much to really look into today. One headline stands out for me here. Is Nigeria rejecting country of particular concern designation? As they usually say, you have it there, just below that picture. Nigeria rejects country of particular concern designation. That was the designation that the US, and the President, Donald Trump, has put Nigeria. But then the question is, all the happenings that we currently have, all these sad occurrences and the narratives around them, and the seeming lethargic nature of governments over the years, okay, does it suffice to put us as a country of particular concern in Nigeria? Or there is more than meets the eye? Now, for some Nigerians, they will say, it's not just by rejecting, show proof that we are not there. These are the issues. Show that you are working. Show that whatever is happening doesn't have anything to do along religious and ethnic lines. These are some of the issues that we'll look into in the course of the program today. The morning is here, and this is Morning Spring. This is Western Spring Television. We'll take a quick break right now. When we return, we speak to these issues and more. You can follow us on our social media platforms, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube. We are live at Western Spring Television. And you have the address scrolling on your screen. Stay with us.